Sometimes when coding, you want to take different courses of action according to certain condition. So we'll be covering conditional statements, which allow us to pick a course of action depending on a certain value or a certain condition. If that condition is true, we'll pick one course of action. If it's false, we'll pick a different one. We can do that by using an if statement. So I've defined here a variable that's called distance, and it keeps on 100 of keeps a value of 100. If I want to check if this variable is, for instance, less than 100, I want to have something shown. If it's more than 100, I want to have something else shown. Or if it's equal to 100 or different to 100 as well. So let's begin by writing the if statement. As you can see, the code editor has already provided me with a template. Basically, you write your if, and then there's a condition to be tested. If that condition is true, whatever you write in here is going to get executed. If it's false, nothing happens, and the code just keeps on being evaluated downwards as usual. If it's true, this is executed, and then the code keeps on evaluating downwards as usual. So the test will be if distance is greater than 100, we'll write that it's too far. If we reload the page, we see that nothing happens because our value is not greater than 100. If we type in 200, we get this statement executed. And what if we want it to be greater or equal to a value? Then we do it like that, greater or equal. Same thing. Let's create a different if statement. If distance can be less than 300, let's do it less than 100. Console log. We'll say that that's close, and we'll try with a smaller value just to show you that distance, yeah. So see how if I write something that doesn't exist, the console will always tell me that that's wrong. That's why it's so important to keep it on, because there will be a lot of errors when you program, no matter if you're starting or if you're an experienced developer. There's always errors. So we can check as well if it's less or equal, and if we want to check that it's equal to a value, what we do is use two equal signs. So we check that it's equal to 50. And we should be getting that one as well. If you want to check that a value is different from a certain value, you use the exclamation sign and then the equal sign. In our case, it is going to be equal, so I'm going to change it. And now we get that it's not equal to 50. These conditions could also be put in a variable, and that's called a Boolean variable that keeps a value true or false. So I can write something like this: condition, and the condition is going to be that distance is different from 50, right? That we know that this is true. Let me show you that in the console. What we'll get is I keep on writing it in Spanish, sorry about that. So I get that it's true, and because it's different from 50, and if it's equal to 50, I'll get that this is false. And I could also let's call this condition 2. I could also just define them like that. So those are Boolean values, and I can put this in an if statement and just write something that it's true, right? and in this case it's not gonna be executed because it's false, so we're not gonna get anything. So as you can see, the if statements in this very simple form, we'll be adding a few more things to them. Can evaluate a condition. That condition can be can have different comparisons, if it's greater than or equal, less than, or different from, and that all translates into true or false at the end of the day. So you could have those true or false just pre-packed and just use them. So it's equivalent, like doing this will be true. It's equivalent to just typing in true, and you'll get that true all the time. Those can be saved in variables. Those are Boolean variables. We'll also be using those later on in the course.